jokes.
It's okay though. I could just mouth everything.
I could steal jokes from Mel Brooks for the rest of my life.
What?
And still get by. It works now.
Whew.
Okay.
Does that work?
Is that
Somebody in
better?
the chat, please
Nah.
verify.
Give us a heart
Yes?
and some thumbs
Yeah?
up and some hearts. We've got some
Yeah?
sound now. Oh my gosh. Are you leaving? Are you going to stay a bit for the show?
Oh.
Oh, okay, then jump on it.
Oh.
See, we have some of our friends here, one of our very helpful, studious staff here at Scum and Villainy are getting ready to leave and then come in, instead of being here
Yep,
live,
there
they're
he
going to
is.
join the show at home virtually, which is brilliant. Please do that. Please do that. Oh my gosh. Hi, everybody. We've got sound now.
Pete
Right?
says, Hannah and Cliff, in the immortal words of Sergeant Carter from Gomer. Oh,
Gomer Pyle. I remember that show.
all right.
Gomer Pyle. That's way, way, way before your generation. In
Here,
fact,
I
don't
will
think-
communicate
Mama,
through sign language.
think-
Here's an E. Here's an A.
Yeah, Pipske is texting
Here's
us.
a H. I don't know. I think
Is
this
it
is
back?
an H. If anyone can understand sign language, then yes. There
Here,
we go.
hold my baby. Here, you don't know anything about me, but hold my baby.
Aw.
Something is definitely not right.
If
Okay.
you
Someone keeps hitting the mute button on the thing, on the laptop.
I haven't hit no mute button.
I haven't even touched the laptop.
Not me.
We got it all on camera.
Is it the ghost in the shell that's inside your laptop,
I bet it's Justin's ghost.
possessed by the spirit of mischief?
Oh.
We heard you for a few minutes.
Fail. Yes. Oh, I'm glad that you think that.
Okay, it's totally back. We are like totally on camera. We are live, like so, like live. Like,
Don't ever do that again.
why should I? You know what? I'm gonna spend the rest of the show talking like Lumpy Space Princess. If you're gonna be that way,
Can you see the pain in my eyes?
LSP is about to manifest. Lumpy Space Princess is about to happen right now.
Best princess is Flame Princess.
Adventure Time. You know the character?
Yes.
Like, oh my God, Finn, you're acting so flat.
I'm sorry. Cliff has left the building.
building.
Cliff has
Like-
left the building.
My parents are giving me a headache. They don't understand the responsibility of being a Lumpy Space Princess, okay? Like, really? Oh my God, like, Lumpy Space Princess is one of my favorite characters, but I have no patience for anything else. Finn, so stop it, okay? Jeez. All right, I'm done. That was it. And scene. That's it. Lumpy Space Princess.
Well, I mean, that was
That was
really
fun.
good, but nobody could hear it.
You're not even.
I'm not even.
You're like,
standing
don't
on
ever
this.
do that again. You're
Yeah,
like,
don't ever do that again.
why are you discouraging me from doing like
I don't know.
improvisational comedy
I don't know.
on my own show?
Well,
Hi guys. If we have sound, I'm just testing the sound and make sure we still have sound.
no, it was nasty goblin. Yeah, it was nasty creatures.
Give us a thumbs up.
Oh, oily.
Still no sound though, Justin.
Well, we could always do slapstick comedy.
Okay, yeah. We'll put our microphones down. We'll start doing a little like, like little elbows up kind of. Physical comedy.
See, now you gotta like tip your hat up and down.
No, I'm not taking my hat off.
Yeah.
I'm not taking my hat off today
Aw.
because I need my sunscreen to not get sunburned again.
Aw.
No, it's peeling. I had like a really bad sunburn. That's what's funny when you have a shaved
Ow.
head. When you have like a bald head and you get sunburned, you look ridiculous when it's peeling.
Yeah, I don't go outside.
Okay, are we back? Yeah, Pete. Thank you, Pete. We're back.
Hi.
All right,
Welcome.
all you wonderful,
Welcome
wonderful
back.
people, give us some thumbs ups and some hearts and thingies in the world of Facebook if you can hear us again, because we are so happy to have you join us, and I'm very happy to have you co-hosting with me this evening. Hello, Hannah.
Hello.
Welcome back to the OneRing.net to Torn Tuesday. Hi.
Hi. How you doing? What's going on?
How was that evening, that special soiree you had down there? Look at that raised eyebrow. She just gave me the side eye. Oh my gosh. What happened?
Are you talking about prom?
PROM. Yeah, I'm talking about prom.
Okay.
Yes. How was it?
Well,
How was prom? Because you look fabulous in the pictures.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very
You
much.
look like a vision. Like you reminded me of Varda. You were getting some. You were
Yeah!
yes. Yes.
Woo!
You guys don't know this, but this young lady was giving some real Varda, like goddess of the Valar, real Varda vibrations from her color and her hair, and looking fabulous. You were really awesome.
Thank you.
And I'm sure
that is a big compliment because Varda and Yavanna.
Yavanna, she's my bae. Yavanna is my bae. Oh my God.
Both of them.
If I had, yeah.
Both.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to cosplay as both of them. But anyway, yeah, it went really. it went pretty well afterwards. The guy who took me, we went to go see Isle of Dogs, so that was nice.
What a fun capper, because that is such a fun movie. I love that movie too.
Yeah, it was really good.
No.
No.
Who said no? Hey, Josh.
It's been a
Josh
while.
is here.
Can we still take
Hi, Jeff.
calls?
Are we on?
Yeah, we
creeping me
still
out.
take calls. This is creeping me out.
Oh, it's because they're watching me do Lumpy Space Princess.
Oh, right. Yes,
Cliff Sanity has left the
exactly.
building anyway. Okay, see,
Sanity.
they're laughing at my
See, look,
LSP.
they're laughing at you.
end scene. There, I just went and did that. See, that's the delay.
See?
On that delay, we can see 3 minutes behind something we did. It's like having a time turner. I feel like you, Hermione, and me, Harry, we're going to go fix some problems around
Here, I
the
actually
castle.
have a necklace on. It's not the time turner, but
Let's pretend.
it's an anchor.
This is the ability
Kinda
to
cool.
look back in time 3 minutes ago and see how people are reacting to what we did
Here
in
we
the past.
go. We got.
Time turner. 3 minutes ago.
Oh wow.
Hey, how does it feel to be in the past?
Not that different.
I know, exactly. Well, at least they're having a good time. Yes. There's yeah. Give Cliff something really chewy to eat, please.
Why? I want to know why. That's so specifically odd.
Thank you,
Why?
Yamir Hoyos. This is a mix-up, or a mash-up, rather, not a mix. But when you mash up Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, thank you, you get who is the person who would end up in Westeros, sitting on the Iron Throne. Out of
Boromir.
out of all the Lord of the Rings characters, who would end up getting on the Iron Throne?
Smeagol.
Nope. Sauron.
Dino Denethor.
Sauron the Deceiver. And we're going to have a conversation about Sauron. We have a lot to talk about on this show today. Everybody's been talking about Avengers Infinity Wars.
Don't worry, we won't spoil it.
It will be
Don't worry, it's okay.
only until the final 5 minutes of the show will we go into spoiler conversation about Infinity War.
No.
Because the conversation must happen. And I can't do a live Tuesday show on the weekend that this movie made the biggest box office in the history of ever. I mean, 1 weekend worth without even being distributed in China. And Infinity War made more money than like 5 of the previous Marvel films.
I'll tell a spoiler right
That's
now.
insane.
You know who dies? My eyes,
Your eyes died?
my heart, my soul.
No.
Yeah. That's right.
You haven't even seen it yet, have you?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can talk. All right, there will be some limited conversation about Infinity War, but you guys can watch this entire broadcast. If you're watching the archive on YouTube, don't worry, it will only be the last 5 minutes of the show. It'll get real spoilerific. And in the meantime, if you're live with us, then join us live, and here's how you can come on board.
It looks like we're frozen.
Might be. There's a little bit of a
Maybe,
delay.
possibly.
530
that's okay.
64 Frodo.
For Frodo.
That's right. You can call our hotline, text, come in, be part of the live show. You can Skype, because we've got the rigs all set up for your Skype to become full screen, part of our live
Hey,
broadcast.
just as long as you stay on topic and don't talk about anything else, that's fine.
530-64 FRODO. That's us.
For Frodo.
And in fact,
Oh, we're blowing up right now.
we're getting texts on the hotline right now. Hey, there's Drew. Hello, Drew from Rhode Island.
Well,
Hey,
hello.
there's one of our good friends from our original audience that had always joined us on our show when we were at Meltdown. Yeah, we've had a very loyal following. Yeah, you too. You too.
Me.
Hope you guys are doing well. Have you found an address? Oh, hey, you know what? That's unusual. See, now, Justin, you may have said at one point in the broadcast, send gifts to us. And yet when people are looking on Google Maps for Scum and Villainy Cantina,
Oh.
no address shows up even. Yeah.
None?
So, Justin,
I mean, on Yelp,
the-
the address shows
then
up.
we're going to get an answer to you, Andrew, in just a second after the producers talk about, we might use a P.O. box, or we might use a different address, but they'll figure that out, and we'll let you know, because you're very kind. These people are so thoughtful. They're trying to send us gifts.
I mean, on Yelp,
That
when
is
you
so sweet.
look up Scum and Villainy, the address shows up.
It does on
So-
Yelp.
Yeah, on Yelp. So you could go off of Yelp if you
That's
want.
good. See, I can't find it on Google Maps to
Yeah,
save my life.
I couldn't either. But it's
To
okay.
save my life.
Okay, I'm going to be a little narcissistic here and read this amazing comment.
save
So
my
Pete
life.
says Hannah looked heartbreakingly lovely in her prom dress. I would have said Arwen, but Varda works too.
Okay, hey, extra compliments.
Okay, I'm going to stop being narcissistic.
If you get stuck with the Arwen label, you're going to have to like talk in slow motion for the rest of your life. That's how Arwen talks constantly.
So yeah, so apparently I already look like her. Now I'm going to have to talk.
Yeah, look at how long your hair is getting,
like
honey. Look at this, see?
her.
With this hair length, you're definitely getting into Elvin Arwen territory.
I'm keeping it like this.
I like it. That's very cute.
Thank you.
That's very cute.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm glad prom was good. I'm glad you had a good night.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm gonna keep it limited because I kind of feel like he's watching. I know that you're watching, Skylar, but
Hey, Skylar, thumbs up, my friend.
yeah. So I don't really want to embarrass him right now.
How did you guys like Isle of Dogs? Because
Oh,
I
it was-
that
it was
movie,
good.
Like relentlessly charming movie.
It was okay. So my thoughts on it. Welcome to Torn Tuesday. We're talking about Isle of Dogs now.
That's right.
But
Hey, look, whenever there's animation involved or something like that, I
It's
will talk
good.
about it.
It's
yes.
good. It's okay. So it's really good.
Yes.
But the only thing that I thought that was kind of odd about it was, so with Wes Anderson, if you know his craft, then it's like, oh yeah, it's a Wes Anderson film. But if you're like, oh, I wonder, who directed this, you're not gonna pick that up. Like with Grand Budapest Hotel, you can pick that up. Like, oh, it's a Wes Anderson film. But with Isle of Dogs,
I love
Ooh.
Grand Budapest Hotel.
that was good. It was really good. I actually have a funny story about that, but not for this time. But
Okay.
for Isle of Dogs, it's a little bit harder to find, or the kind of, trying to think of the appropriate wordage. It's kind of harder to tell that that's a Wes Anderson film rather than Grand Budapest Hotel. That's what I found.
Okay.
I mean, I know his style kind of almost to a T. It's kind of obsessive, sorry.
Yeah.
But
A lot of people are counting on that. That's what they want.
yeah,
when they go to
it's
see
a
Wes
little bit
Anderson
okay.
film.
So you can see it if
They
you
want that.
if you know his craft, but if you don't know his craft and only know surface level, then you're gonna be like, oh, he directed this. I didn't know that.
How would you describe his craft? You mean something about the crisp weirdness of the dialogue?
Yeah, like the
The-
quirky kind of intimate. You still get that, right? But I'm talking more so about the atmosphere. Like
Yeah.
you still get the symmetrical thing where you always have characters in frame, like middle of frame, like right here frame, right? But it's more so the colors, like color atmosphere kind of thing to it, you know?
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. That
You
type of framing is in
Yeah.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh yeah,
And
it's in all of his
yeah,
movies.
the animators that he's working with are doing this really remarkable stuff. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
all about stop motion animation.
They
and I'm
also, the company
making
who
the little fur look like the fur is moving and all the wind is blowing through
Yeah.
the dog fur. How did these animators do that? I mean, I love that.
I don't
That's
know
so
if
cool.
you know, but the animation company who did Fantastic Mr. Fox and Isle of Dogs also
Yes.
have done, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's Bob the Builder and Corpse
did?
Bride as well. Yeah.
Oh, they did Corpse Bride as
Yep.
well. Oh, yes. Tim Burton's Corpse Bride, actually.
No,
There's a
My
con-
Corpse Bride.
There's a contract somewhere where the name of the film is Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, and that is how it is always printed. It's always named. You look for it on IMDb. What is it? It's not The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's Tim Burton's blank. He's got contracts with...
Or if you want to go Monty Python style,
Yeah.
Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas.
I love that. Yeah, see, now I'm all about branding yourself if you're like a comedy troupe. Monty
That's why you-
Python covers
That's why you have tattoos?
6 or 7 people. Oh, what? No. What?
Huh? What?
Tattoos?
Huh?
What?
I didn't say anything.
Branding yourself. Okay, I get it. No, but I'm saying, like, filmmakers usually try to, get themselves identified for their style.
Right.
We have yet gotten to the point where Wes Anderson has put his name in front of his films. The movie is Isle of Dogs. The movie is Grand Budapest Hotel, Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Yeah.
It's not Wes Anderson's blank. At least he's not at that stage.
No.
That's the only comparison I'm making, at least. But anyways, I find that fascinating. We talk a lot about movies, Hollywood, motion picture industry, and the ins and outs of pop culture as we weave our conversation around fantasy and geek stuff. Believe me, we're going to get there. Just hang with us. We're going to get there. Okay?
I know, it's taken a long time.
It's taken a long time to get to the Loki/Sauron conversation. Everybody has been talking about this on
Can't wait to talk about how hot he's going to be.
on Twitter. We've blown up our Twitter today. I know you guys are waiting for us to get to the bloody point, but I'll tell you something.
I'm sorry, we're being a bunch of buggers.
I could banter with you all day. I could banter with you all day.
That's fine. I could banter with you all day.
It's a funny thing to be able to just fill the space with improvisational dialogue. It's really quite funny.
Indeed it is.
Good one, Hannah.
This isn't even funny, but...
No, Hannah, you're good. You're totally good. You're totally good.
Making me laugh a little too hard.
Hey there, Vicky, Elizabeth, Catherine, Pete, Pipsky, and to all of the people who are watching us live on the show. Thanks for joining us live.
Hello, Elizabeth. Hi.
And yeah, hey, it's 5:30, and people want to talk about the biggest phenomenon in pop culture that's happening that everyone's talking about. And even here on Torn Tuesday,
Westworld.
We are not immune to the indescribable wave of the phenomenon that is Avengers: Infinity War.
I thought you were
We'll
gonna
get to
talk about
Westworld in a
DC.
minute. I love me some Westworld. I really do.
Okay, I just
really
wanna
love that
say-
show. It's really good.
Everybody says, "Oh, Westworld's good. Westworld's good." I'm looking at you, Justin. But okay, if y'all have seen the original one with Yul Brynner, that's a piece of gold right there.
Yeah,
You know,
solid gold.
well,
Yes, thank you.
You go babada boopy. That's great. I need to stop. I'm
Give me
sorry.
that. Here, cheers to that. To Yul Brynner, to the ghost of Yul Brynner, the original Westworld. Justin, oh, what have you got there, snack boy? You got a bag of M&Ms? What you got there, snack boy? Do not feed or tease the hosts. We have a sign right behind us. Do not feed or tease the hosts.
Why
What?
did you call him Snack Boy?
Because he's eating snacks in front of us and not sharing.
I'm gonna
By
call
the
him
way,
that for now.
My usual co-host and producer just walked past my camera, waving a bag of M&Ms under my nose.
I'm gonna call him that now. Snack Boy.
What you got there, snack boy?
Hi, Snack Boy.
Hey, you guys, welcome to Torn Tuesday once again. And I do want to say, Avengers: Infinity War is on everyone's mind. Tell me your scale of 1 to 10, without spoiling it. What kind of a rating would you give Infinity War on a
Well,
1 to 10?
that's hard without spoiling it because, like, you know.
You can say a single number without spoiling anything of the film. Give us Come on, give us a number. How many dragons have you killed?
Well,
Thank you,
That's
Dory.
confidential.
I'm doing my Dory bit from The Hobbit.
That's confidential, but I can give you the number rating I'd give it. I don't know, probably like 7. I want to say 7 or maybe
Whoa,
7.5.
wait, it was a 7 preceded with a...
7.5. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
What's that, honey?
I can tell you, but there's going to be spoilers.
Maybe 7 and...
And maybe 7.5, I would have to say.
I think, considering, you know...
It shocked me. That's all I'm going to say. It shocked me. I thought things would go differently.
Everybody
But they
does.
went one way. I thought it was going to go whoo, but it went and, you know.
So, knowing what I know, I'm familiar with the comic books, and I know, like, this is like a surprise in pop culture to everybody because they might not know the material as hardcore as some of us geeks
Yeah,
are so,
yeah.
like, ingrained with what the story is, and so we anticipated certain bits of this story to be here in the film. And so, it wasn't that mind-blowing. I'm actually thinking way ahead to the next Avengers film. I'm thinking way, 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 way ahead. But to me, considering the scope of it, costumes, effects, the complicated threads of narrative with very, very big characters across very different planets and different locations and trying to keep up with everybody, that was a really ambitious affair. And I've got to give them better than a 7. I've got to give them an 8.
Wow.
They would have gotten a 9 if only for certain things that we can't talk about until the end of the show. In the last 5 minutes of the show, we're going to talk about the spoilers, but no spoilers right now. Yeah, I'd give the film an 8. You give it a 7.
It dragged on just the tad bit longer.
It was longer than your lengthy Harry Potter film.
Yeah.
Like, it was
It
2 hours,
was-
47.
And you felt it. You kind of felt it.
It was almost 2 hours and 45 minutes.
It was 2 hours and 40 minutes.
There's nothing wrong with that compared to us sitting through Peter Jackson films for 3 hours.
Well, I mean,
There's
okay,
nothing compared to that.
maybe it's just me, but with Avengers, I like. How do I say this with being nice? I kind of wanted to check my phone and be like, what time is it?
Oh, no, I never wanted to check my
Yeah.
phone. No, for the entire running time of Infinity War, I was not pulled out of the film. I was not pulled out of the film. I was in it to win it. And I was continually fascinated by the complexity of the story threads and how they were trying to manage giving way too many characters something to do. They did not always succeed. I mean, I really don't think Scarlett Johansson had much to say. She didn't have...
Oh, no, she had barely anything. She was just like, I'm blonde now.
And she was incredibly badass, but she only had like one important line of dialogue.
Yeah.
You know, like, whatever happened to keeping in touch, keeping our heads down, and being in touch with each other? She had one important line, which isn't a spoiler. Not a spoiler at all. But after
Maybe
that,
it is.
she receded into fight scenes. And then the rest of her character was just fight scenes.
Yeah,
so that's one little
some characters
caveat.
were kind of, I don't know, I felt as if some characters were kind of casted aside to make way for other characters to shine.
That has to happen when
I'm
you've got
not-
37
Well,
main
I
stage
know,
people.
but I'm just saying to the point where if it's,
Oh.
oh,
We had a call on the
Okay.
hotline. Call back. Whoever that was, you can just call back.
yeah.
Yeah. Hi there, Ellen. Nice to have you on the show.
Hola.
Very nice to have you on the show. Call us
That
again
is
on the
Spanish
hotline.
for hello.
530-64 Frodo. No, what were you saying? Sorry.
No, but I was saying, for one certain character, I'm not going to name the name, I felt as if he was taking a little out of character just for the sake of the movie and for things to happen.
Can you whisper that name in my ear off
No.
stage? Yes.
Maybe.
Okay,
yeah.
microphone's down. Microphone's down. She's going to whisper secret in my ear. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot going on there to make that business. A lot of business. There was a lot going on there. I guess
Yeah.
you'd call that a bump. That character was bumped up to that level of importance in the narrative.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, we're
I
talking in
just-
secret code now.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can't do that. We just want to say the real conversation, now that Infinity War has been hovering over all of popular culture in what seems to be an inescapable thing that we can't get away from, all eyes come back to Amazon television and that $500 million, count them, $500 million that they're spending on a new J.R.R. Tolkien Middle-earth television series. I will, from here on forward, not call it a Lord of the Rings TV series because that's not what it is. We're gonna
I
have
just
to call
it the Amazon.
We'll call it Jeff.
Yeah.
People might give it a name in the future, like Jeff's Folly. You know, Bezos's Folly. There you go. Bezos's
The Quickening.
$500 million, $1 billion enterprise. It's going to be a fascinating thing, but it's not going to be the Lord of the Rings, so we might as well call it the Middle-earth,
Ellen says that
show.
she's having a glitchy connection.
Yeah. Hey,
That's not good. I saw her at the Ren Fair on
Hey
Sunday.
there. Sorry, we're just hollering at Justin. It seems to be completely frozen and has for a long time. Thank you, sir. Sorry to interrupt. I'm so sorry. But, hey, the idea that you're going to not talk about Sauron and the Middle-earth show and not have it somehow connected to our experience with what Marvel is doing, you're nuts. It's all going to be connected. Trust me. There's so many possibilities in popular culture for these folks. Hey there. Is that you, Pinguino? Oh my gosh, there's Pinguino hiding in the dark over there. It's so good to see you. And by the way, you can always come on the show by sitting over there in the light if you want to join us. The thing is that when that Jeff Bezos guy and those people at Amazon Television get that show running, there's going to be a lot of expectations about who we're already relating to in popular culture.
Right. He's going to have a mountain to carry, so to speak.
Yes.
All eyes are going to be on him. It's going to be...
But it's also going to be the job of these showrunners to cast the right actors.
Oh, yeah.
Who is the right actor to play Sauron, thank you, Justin, for coming up with this question today. Now that we're finally getting into it, 40 minutes into the show. Yeah, literally 40 minutes into the show. If Sauron were to be cast today, what actor comes to mind to play the Deceiver, the guy who would appear as Anatar, the giver of gifts, teaching the elves how to make magic rings? Who could that guy possibly be?
Danny DeVito.
Yeah! Yes!
Steve Buscemi.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yeah, Buscemi. Yeah, Buscemi, definitely.
I'm just kidding. Probably like Tom Hiddleston.
Oh my gosh, I love you, Pinguino. It's so good to see Pinguinos over here. All right. Let's see now, because I think the real answer is Tom Hiddleston. Thank you. The obvious 800-pound gorilla in the room.
Yes. I mean, he's already played Loki, and Loki is a somewhat similar character
There's
to
analogous.
Pre-Rings Sauron. So
Almost. Maybe the god of mischief is not right, the downright god of all evil and destruction.
no, I mean there
but
is a similarity though.
analogous to the idea that he can trick people.
That he's smooth and
That he's
deceptive, like a snake.
Smooth and deceptive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
Smooth.
So Hannah, what do you think of that idea?
Well, I think it's a great idea.
Mr. Hiddleston?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to lose him to any other universe. I don't think Hiddleston goes to Doctor Who. I don't think we're going to see him in, well, if they keep making more of those King Kong and Godzilla films, then we're going to see a lot of him in
Yeah.
that Godzilla King Kong
You know who would be good?
crossover.
Also,
But I want to see him in Middle Earth. I'm really down for that. Really.
David Tennant.
Do you think David Tennant should come to Middle Earth?
Barty Crouch Jr. Hello.
Barty Crouch. Bye. Good to see you, Pinguino. Bye, hun. I'll talk to you later. Oh my gosh. Everybody's like off stage having a good old time. What do you think? Who else from Marvel would transpose very well into Middle Earth?
That's hard.
Look around. I mean, we've already got a crossover with Evangeline Lilly. You know,
And Richard Armitage. Don't forget Richard Armitage.
yes, our elvish captain of the guard
My
is
husband.
already Wasp. Oh, Mr. Richard Armitage, your future ex-husband. Your future ex-husband.
You want to go right now?
You want to go right now?
I'll pub fight you. We're in. Yeah, I will.
Hannah's
I
ready to.
promise you right now, I will do it.
Hannah's ready to throw down the gauntlet.
I'll take off my jacket.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
That means I'm gonna get beaten up, bruised. It's a brawl. It's a bar brawl.
Yeah.
We should get some of those fun glass bottles that are pretend. They're real thin.
Oh yeah.
You know, like candy glass, whatever
Yeah.
they are, and like smash them up on each other's heads and do a skit.
And then we'll have an Irish band play. What's the song?
Well,
I don't know.
A certain Hobbit song comes to mind.
No, there's a song. Yeah, I totally forgot.
It'll come to you later.
I don't know right now.
I think that Tom Hiddleston would be ideal, and here's why. Because we're going to have to relate to Sauron as a character very differently than the way that any of us have related to him before. In 6 movies, Peter Jackson granted us a concept of a floating eye, lidless, flaming, eternal,
And a giant man.
and then and
Metal.
a 12-foot guy in an outrageously complicated body of
think
armor. Otherwise, we have no idea of how to relate to who Sauron is.
Hiddleston would bring a certain humanity to Sauron. And now we
Sure
go into a
would.
call.
Hey, you're live on the OneRing.net. Thanks for calling. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Justin, it's Cliff.
Yes. Hey, this is Cliff. Who's this?
Sorry, it's Josh.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hi,
Hey, what's up, Josh?
Hey,
Hey there. Hey, what's up? I'm sorry. Oh, a little overlap. Sorry.
Crickets.
sorry. Hey,
Hey. What's up? Welcome to the show.
hey, I'm on. Yay. Hi, Cliff.
Yes. Hello. You're definitely on the show. Where are you calling from?
Okay. This is Josh.
So I'm actually calling from an undisclosed location in Burbank right now.
Undisclosed. Okay, see, now I know you, Josh. I know you very well, and I'm very glad to have you on the show, good sir. But our viewers might not know where you're calling from. But undisclosed, secret location where they dump the bodies in Burbank. That's where you are, right?
He's in a warehouse.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Hey, welcome aboard. What do you think about Tom Hiddleston joining the Middle-earth universe as Sauron or as Anatar?
I think he would make a really good Sauron. Like he's got the smoothness, and like I mean we've seen him be a deceiver as Loki for years.
Yeah.
So I think he would be really good. But I think there was a post on the One Rings Facebook a few days ago about Sauron saying something along the lines of, what if Sauron was written as sympathetically as Thanos was in Infinity War? And I kind of feel like that doesn't work with Sauron, and I will tell you why. And this is kind of a hot take on Sauron, but hear me out. If you look at Sauron's history through the Silmarillion, one through line with him is that he is a coward.
Yeah.
And so I also, sorry, I don't think there is much of a good side in him anymore. I think that kind of got burned out at the end of the First Age, when after the War of Wrath and everything, Sauron tried to surrender himself to the elves and the Maya.
And what was that? I'm sorry to interrupt, but was that a ploy or was that legit on his part?
Well, the way Tolkien wrote it, he actually says it is possible that he believed in his heart that he could change his ways, or that he wanted to change his ways. But what it came down to was, they were like, okay, if you're willing to repent, you still have to come back with us to Valinor and face judgment. And he was like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. And then buggered off to the east.
Right. Indeed.
So he's unwilling to face consequences.
And can you imagine there's no other way to humanize Sauron than to literally have a human being play him who can let us have a doorway into his world and who he is.
Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like there is like a level of like you could understand where he's coming from that you can portray, but I don't feel like you can reach the same level of sympathy with him that you have with Thanos. And I'm not going to spoil Infinity War with why he was so sympathetic.
Yeah. Good. Yes. Yeah, we're going to maintain spoiler-free conversation until the last few minutes of the show. Hey, from where you're sitting and watching, Josh, is there a buffer delay on the show that you're watching?
Well, okay, what I'm doing is I'm watching on YouTube, and I'm chatting on Facebook, because it seems like there's a more visible conversation happening on Facebook, but
yes.
YouTube is going pretty smoothly.
Oh, good. YouTube is live, and so we're
well,
okay.
Good.
So if there is a delay, it might be.
It's going smoothly. It looks like Facebook is getting pretty glitchy.
Got it. Okay. This is fascinating. I love it. How much of this detail about Sauron's history from the Silmarillion, or maybe none of it, would be available under the existing license that Jeff Bezos has? What do you think on that?
Well, like, here's the thing. I don't know exactly what is in that license. Like, yeah. I mean, we kind of know, like, the broad strokes, like, everything that was in Lord of the Rings and was in the appendices is in there, but, I mean, they shelled out a lot of money. Is there possibly some allowances for stuff from the Silmarillion in there? Like, maybe some specific things they want to do?
Right. I get it.
I honestly don't know, but I feel like if you want to, like, add some depth to Sauron, then you do need to go into his history a little bit. Like, me personally, I would love for this series to be about the last dynasty of Numenor. which
Yes.
we talked.
Yes.
Which we talked about at WonderCon. I probably talked a little bit too much about it at WonderCon.
We love the last dynasty of Numenor, and that is something that they have under their license because it's definitely in the pages of the appendix.
Oh, it absolutely is, yes.
Absolutely. So maybe not all the juicy details that are in the Akalabeth, in the back chapter of Silmarillion, but still plenty to grist, I would say enough to grist the mill.
I was surprised at how much detail there was in the appendices for that.
Me too.
You just scratch the surface.
Like you could do a lot with it. And yeah, okay, it's not as detailed as what's in the Silmarillion, but I mean that's where you can sort of like play around creatively with it, I think.
I am so looking forward to this. And I think that the imprint of what Marvel Studios has done after 10 years and this wave of popular culture where we're at right now, I would not be surprised that there's a huge, obvious trickle down to the casting announcements we get within the next year for the Middle-earth series.
You think that's possible?
Like, I mean, I think Tom Hiddleston would make a great Sauron, especially if they do like the Anatar thing, or even if they do the Ar-Pharazôn thing, which can like slowly sort of wearing down his defenses while inside a prison cell.
Yep. Well said, sir. Well said. Oh man, Josh, I appreciate you coming on the show. Hannah, what do you think? Hannah wanted to ask you, Josh. Do you think so? Do you think that that there's going to be a lot of other people from huge Marvel movies that are going to end up trickling into the casting announcements? Because Hannah, you seem to be skeptical.
Do I think, or does Hannah think?
I'm asking what Hannah thinks because Hannah was asking you if you think.
I missed what Hannah asked.
What do you think, Hannah? You're being so quiet. What do you think?
Well, one, why I'm being so quiet, I just had the biggest deja vu right now. Not gonna lie, it kind of scared me. Second of all, I'm
Somebody reset the Matrix.
I'm thinking about it, and by my estimates, production would start 2022, possibly. But as far as casting, I mean, this is still kind of fresh news in the sense of this came out in like what, November, right? Yeah, November.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I'd love, okay, don't get me wrong. Jeff, if you're watching, please don't get me wrong. But I would love any details whatsoever on the new Amazon series.
I hate to interrupt, but Cliff, could you maybe put me a little bit closer to Hannah because I'm just hearing a lot of echo from her. So I can't really hear what she's saying.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Is that better?
Is that better? Keep talking.
Yes. No. Maybe so. I don't know.
Do you hear? Here you go, Josh. Okay.
Okay. So, where was I? No, but I think it might be too early. And the earliest I think that they would release casting announcements might be by early next year. Possibly. Maybe. Because, I mean, it's just too early right now. You know? What I think might happen this year is we might find out who the showrunners are. That's what I think might happen this year, if anything.
Yeah, I'm like really curious to see like who they pick as a showrunner for this, or multiple showrunners for it.
We all are.
Determine like what we can expect from this show.
Yeah, we all are very, very, very curious who the showrunners and the directors are going to be. Yeah.
And I'm still trying to find like what connections I know at Amazon Entertainment so that I can pitch my ideas to them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, let's get those pitch meetings with those guys because evidently they're spending a lot of money. Yeah. Oh, brother, it's good to have you. Welcome back. This is Josh. He's one of our longtime staff members on the OneRing.net.
He's our boy.
He's our boy. He
He's
just
the
joined the
book
show
boy.
live. Yeah.
He's the book boy.
Our host of Torn Book Club. Thank you, Josh, for being on the show with us today, brother.
Oh, my pleasure. Have a great rest of the show, and I'll be watching the rest of it.
All right, yeah, man. Thanks very much. We've got a lot of other messages coming in on the hotline. We've got a lot of other people
wow.
here and carrying forward this is fascinating. Scarlett Johansson's line, "She's not alone." Okay, yeah, all right, yep, that was a huge moment, yep. Mm-hmm. It's not, it just stops for a split second. Okay, thanks, Pete. It's not frozen, it's just stuttering.
Oh, okay.
The folks at YouTube are actually not having the stuttering quality. That might be a Facebook thing. It's at the point where one of the biggest stars of Game of Thrones ends up getting inside the Marvel movie in the biggest Marvel movie of all time. Peter Dinklage.
Speaking of that, Ellen says Peter Dinklage as Bilbo. Don't know how that would go, but that would be funny.
Peter Dinklage as Bilbo. That's hilarious. But yeah, Ellen, you clued me in on the name Peter Dinklage, and that supports what I'm saying. If you're going to have a guy go from being major lead star of Game of Thrones, primetime Emmy winner for Game of Thrones, and now he's in Marvel, don't be surprised that these people who have been so entrenched in our appetite for pop culture are going to end up bouncing over to the next biggest franchise in the universe. So, yeah, Tom Hiddleston, you're on. You've got our support.
I'm saying David Tennant as well.
David Tennant, who
Turin Tour.
Oh my gosh, they don't have the rights to do Turin.
Don't squash my dream.
Don't leave them with false hope.
Don't squash my dream.
I'm not squashing your dream, but we have to be responsible reporters. We can't responsibly report that news.
That's true. Okay, that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
It's not.
I'll give you that.
There's totally no fake news. It's all real news here on theonering.net. And
I can speculate and wish all I want.
The idea of having Dave Tennant in anywhere in Middle Earth is brilliant, but I'm not sure where you'd put him. Turin? Really?
Yeah.
David Tennant?
Yeah.
Turin Turambar?
Yeah.
I'd rather put David Tennant in like a dwarf outfit and, make him be one of those, one of the Longbeards, one of Durin's line. Imagine.
I mean, just because of the harsh Scottish accent, I could see that.
No.
But
Somewhere in the Silmarillion, what's the name of that dwarf who gets caught up in this? Forgive me. Josh is going to text me on the hotline, I'm sure. There's the dwarf who gets caught up in this scandalous thing with one of the Elven kings.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
There's your Dave Tennant character. Yes, like the mishandling and misdelivery of certain promised treasure item or a gem or something, but it wasn't a Silmaril.
I still think he should be turned to a ball.
Guys, if you think that they're gonna make casting announcements within a year, I'm sorry for suggesting that. I know you're right, 100% right, Anna, that they're gonna give us a lot of other information about the production side. We'll get all that stuff about the writer's room and the directors and showrunners and the people who will be doing music, costumes, and all that stuff, and effects, and whatever visual effects houses they're going to be roping into this business before we get information about casting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I don't know. I was just thinking, it's still early. If anything, we might not even get, realistically, we might not even get anything this year.
We might not, but that's
maybe
late. That's late for them to pay all that money for that license and then to not start moving forward.
Yeah, but still, they want to take their time with it, I mean...
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm with everybody with being like, I wanna know anything as soon as possible. But I mean, if they paid that much money, it better be good.
Yes, agreed. It better be an excellent show.
It better be good.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
And I think that I think naturally, with the climate that we're in, with the way fandom reacts. Look at how fans have reacted to Marvel films versus DC films.
Oh.
They know that it has to be good.
Except for Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman was great. And guess what? They made much more money and got much more critical acclaim because Patty Jenkins made a better film.
Yeah.
You go female directors. So you put... Now, Captain Marvel, who is going to be one of the most anticipated characters, who's basically going to be brought in as the savior of the Marvel Universe, that character is a woman being written and directed by a woman, a female director. Here's the female directors. So Captain Marvel is going to be coming out, And then, in 1 year from now, it will be Avengers 4? Is that in 1 year?
Yeah, like the second part.
Yeah, the second part. Yeah. How about that? Okay, Catherine is in the live chat saying, I think Thanos wants people to think he is merciful, but his children know him best. All right, and we're not at that point of spoiler talk yet in the show.
Yes.
But yeah, I agree with you. Yes, egomaniacal evil. All right, it's 6 o'clock. We're going to save the spoiler talk. Yeah, Facebook is really behind. I wrapped up my call like 3 minutes ago. Yeah, it's funny. Oh, well, whatever. You guys are awesome. Thanks for joining us, anyways, live at Scum and Villainy Cantina. You guys are invited. Come have a pint. Have some nachos.
Yeah, watch us talk, and then me just kind of go.
Yeah, you can come in live on the show, which we often do. And today, it seems like we have an audience
of ghosts.
Of one.
Plus the ghost.
The ghosts?
The ghosts.
Not the ghosts
the
of...
ghosts?
The ghost of Mel Brooks, who we invoked at the top of the show.
He's not even dead. Don't even say that.
I know, he's brilliant. I know he's not dead. But yeah, I have to tell you, the Spaceballs jokes were going far and wide this weekend because I performed a wedding ceremony for a magnificent young couple, and they wanted to have all like Spaceballs jokes, and they wanted to do the Princess Bride opening ceremony of their ceremony where he goes, marriage. So I did the whole thing. It was so funny. So I've got all these jokes from these 80s films in my head at the top of the show. Mr. JC, how are you, sir? Owner and proprietor of the Scum and Villainy Cantina, here at the heart of the Hollywood, downtown Hollywood district at Cahuenga and Hollywood Boulevard.
Cahuenga.
Don't ask me how to spell that, but it's Cahuenga, because I know how to spell it.
Nobody asked you.
All right. What do you anticipate next? Ant-Man and Wasp? Or do you anticipate Westworld? What are you going to sink your teeth into? Well, we have to, as fans, we have to tide ourselves over until we get more news about the Middle-earth series.
Oh, so I mean like
what are you going to sink your teeth into?
Fandom in general?
Yeah, what's your fandom going to be for the next few minutes? I'm
well,
curious.
Okay, it's always going to be Tolkien. First and foremost, always Tolkien.
I want to read this new book that's coming out. What are you looking at me like that for?
New book?
Yeah. Hello? You didn't hear news?
No.
The news just like a few weeks ago about the new posthumous publication coming from J.R.R. Tolkien?
Look, man, I'm a senior.
The Fall of Gondolin?
Working really hard.
I know you're a senior, working really hard, but we've done many shows on this, and it blew up all of Twitter. The Fall of Gondolin is going to be a newly researched and produced book that Christopher Tolkien is giving us with all the full version of what happened at the Fall of Gondolin from the Silmarillion. Did you know that? So you do have more Tolkien to look forward to. It's coming out later this year. I mean, there's a lot of things happening with the new J.R.R. Tolkien biopic that will be released, I wonder. You think?
I don't know when that's going to be released. I know that they're in production of it now, but
if they go for Oscar bait, it'll be late this year. If they finish and edit to the film and all the post-production is done and they want to go for Oscar bait, then they'll release it late this year.
That could win an Oscar. I mean, I haven't even seen the film, but it could win an Oscar. Maybe I'm just biased. Nobody knows.
No, I'm really looking forward to the new Tolkien biography story. What's his name? Is playing young Tolkien. Come on, we've talked about him so many times.
I know. I'm trying to remember his name.
Beast. Beast from X-Men. And also from Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, he plays...
TikTok.
God, what's his name? I know the characters that he plays. I don't remember his
everybody
name.
in the live chat is going to blow up the chat in just a second. They're going to tell us anyways.
They're going to be like, Hannah, you're lame. And I know.
Isn't that inexcusable for me? Because I've been talking about him for months and months and months and months and months on my own show, and now I seem to have completely forgotten. Who's the boy who plays Beast? Is going to be playing Tolkien in the upcoming film.
I don't know. Me too.
It's not Timothy. No.
Who? Nicholas Hoult.
Nicholas Hoult. That's
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Josh. Nicholas Hoult. Josh gave us the answer, and
No,
so
you
did Letitia.
didn't.
Letitia.
My mom did first.
Yeah,
Josh
and Mom-
backed down.
Josh, you were late
My
to the party,
mom.
Josh, but I'm glad you joined the party. Yeah,
My mom
I've been
gave me
talking
the
about him
answer.
for months and months. It's inexcusable. Maybe it's the paint fumes coming off of this new barrel that we got. It's paint fumes from your art department work that you did, Justin. Wow, I didn't know they brought the old Pepsi logo back. That's the old logo for Pepsi.
Yeah, they're trying to be retro.
I know, it's making me feel old.
Oh.
Anyways, hi.
Hi.
What's up?
Hey.
All right. Are you going to go and see Infinity War again? The way that I went back to see Black Panther quite a few times. And now I want to see how many times I'm going to go back and see this.
Okay. I'd like to, but it depends on my schedule.
Because it's a
I've-
3-hour commitment to the whole bloody thing, you know.
Yeah, and I'm busy. So
Yeah. Hey, you have to wrap up the school year soon.
I got 4 more weeks.
Yay!
I was almost gonna say months.
4
I'm
more
like,
weeks.
oh no, not months. But I got 4 more weeks, sucker, and I'm out.
Yay! And then it's off to the real world.
Off to New Zealand, you mean?
Really? Yes.
Yeah.
Which is the real world. That's awesome.
It's always Middle Earth, but
Yep. Middle Earth, the very best. So, yeah, I'm totally down to see Infinity War again until MoviePass tells me that I'm no longer allowed to use MoviePass to repeat viewings of the same film.
well, they can tell you
Yay, she's back.
that.
Yay.
They can't tell you that.
What?
They can't tell you that, can they?
Yeah, didn't you know that MoviePass changed their policy?
No.
What you got there, snack boy?
Hey, it's Snack Boy.
What you got
Hi,
there,
snack boy.
snack boy? You got some snacks?
Snack Boy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Go ahead, Letitia. Knock it out. Okay, so here's the thing.
Hi, Snack Boy.
I am a little bit upset that MoviePass now will not let you go and see a repeat movie over and over again. I saw Coco in the theaters 3 times. I saw Isle of Dogs
Snack Boy.
twice. I lost count of how many times I saw The Last Jedi. Because
Oh, I just watched that once, dude.
yeah, I mean, because I loved it. And MoviePass let me, you know, what is that?
There's snacks.
Oh, orange creamsicle. Yum. Orange creamsicle M&Ms. Yummy. Mmm. These are delicious. Where'd you get these from?
He got them from the Blue Wizards. This is what they've been doing. Look, the package is blue. Or like
These
blue.
are actually really good. And they don't have any chocolate in them.
It's weird because they taste like chocolate, but then it's
But
like, oh, no,
it has
it's
the
not.
consistency of chocolate,
Yeah.
but it's not chocolate.
I don't know how I feel.
It's orange and vanilla M&Ms.
I'm starting to see things.
Boy, these are good. Oh my gosh, these are good. Anyway, thank you for delivering the goods, Snack Boy. That's his new name from now on.
Snack Boy.
You know, it's funny.
Okay, if,
It's
he's,
the way the
if
dir-
he's Snack Boy, you're Tall Boy.
I'll take it,
Or Hat Boy.
Hat Boy. But the,
Hat Boy.
the,
Bald boy.
the derisive way you call him Snack Boy is hilarious.
Snack.
It just rolls off your tongue like an evil thing. Like, yeah.
There he
Snack
is.
Boy.
You Snack Boy.
There he is. Like it's almost a dirty word. You Snack Boy. What? Guys,
I say anything.
in another 15 minutes, we're going to talk deep spoilers, maybe 10. So we've got 10 minutes to not talk about any spoilers, but I guarantee you, people are always saying, what's going to happen at the end of Infinity War with all these characters? Where do they go? What's going to happen? Can we speculate how many characters will survive Infinity War? How many will die? Or maybe none at all. Maybe they all survive. Surprise. But check it out.
I'll
Hey.
tell you a little later.
I'm going to tell you that if these actors are out of a job and they're no longer in the Marvel Universe, don't worry. The Middle-earth franchise over at Jeff Bezos' farmland is just about to spring a bumper crop.
It's
So
okay.
don't worry.
We'll
a bumper
caress
crop.
and cradle them. Hold them tight to our bosoms.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my. So I'm
Oh,
excited
yeah.
by what's going to happen with Wonder Woman 2 because Patty Jenkins has cast none other than one of my favorite personalities from Saturday Night Live to play Wonder Woman's arch nemesis, Cheetah. Do you know who?
Who?
Want to take a guess? One of the great alumni from SNL is going to be the antagonist villain Cheetah in the new Wonder Woman film.
I have a feeling.
Can you guess? I know. Don't tell her in the chat because I know already.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm forgetting her name right now, but in Ghostbusters, the blonde-haired lady.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, I knew it.
Kristen Wiig is going to be playing Cheetah.
That's not who I guessed at all.
Oh my gosh.
But, yeah.
Oh, you were thinking Melissa McCarthy?
No.
Who?
What's
Out
her
of two
name?
blondes that are in the
What's her name?
the Ghostbusters
No,
reboot.
not Kristen Wiig, not Melissa McCarthy. The one with the goggles.
The one with the goggles?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I forgot.
I totally forget her name.
Oh gosh, I forgot. Yummy. Delicious. Now, here's the thing. Marvel is so far forward and has surpassed anything that DC Extended Universe can do. But I'm still looking forward to a standalone Flash movie, another Wonder Woman movie.
Don't say Aquaman.
Well, they thought they were going to do that. They were going to do a standalone Cyborg and an Aquaman movie, but I think
they're not doing it anymore?
They've canceled a lot of those things in favor of Martin Scorsese producing and making a Joker origin story.
Oh, that's pretty good.
About the early life of the clown prince of crime before he became who he is.
I would rather prefer that than watch Aquaman in a kiddie pool.
I'm sorry, but I don't think that Justice League did Aquaman any particular favors. I don't know.
Okay,
what do you think?
Let me just say, Aquaman is weak.
Weak sauce?
You take him out of the water, he's done. Flopping on, you know.
No, in the
He
movie,
needs
Justice League, he was on dry land.
Yeah, but it's
did okay.
Justice League, though. Nothing's good in that movie, except for Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is
meow.
always good.
And Jeremy Irons dripping sardonic jokes. That was good. I like
Yeah, it was okay.
him playing Alfred, by the way. All right, what else? Because I'm more excited about the casting for the upcoming Middle-earth show than anything. I want to see Rosamund Pike, the British actress from
As Aragorn's mom.
As Aragorn's mom. I would love to see any of our cast from the Avengers, like Loki, / Sauron.
Tom Hiddleston.
Mr. Tom Hiddleston. Mr. Benedict Cumberbatch has already been a major featured character in Middle-earth, so there he is as Doctor Strange.
And Martin Freeman as well, and Kate Blanchett.
Obviously, yes, indeed.
And my husband.
And your
Richard Armitage.
future ex-husband, Richard Armitage.
Okay, you know what? Pub brawl right now.
Pub brawl. What?
Right now.
Them's fighting words. Yep, that's it. Get that bottle. Get it.
I'm joking. Violence is never the answer. Tolkien wouldn't have
Get
wanted this.
Get that candy glass stuff that breaks over my head. Just go.
Tolkien wouldn't have wanted this. He would be very disappointed.
I think we should.
Come now. We do not fight with actions. We fight with words. We can talk this out. I'm going to get smacked. Someone's going to smack me at the estate. I'll go, hi, I'm here to buy the rights of the Silmarillion.
Hey,
Wah!
Rodney, you've got a great
Get outta
idea.
here.
David Tennant as Tom Bombadil. I'm down. I'm totally down.
Huh. That's interesting.
No, it's a great idea. That is actually a great idea.
I didn't say it was a bad idea. I'm just saying it's an interesting idea.
Josh is reminding us that Scorsese Joker origin story is not actually going to be in DC Extended Universe continuity. That's right. But they're also going to do Gotham City Sirens, where Margot Robbie will come back as Harley Quinn, and then we'll have Poison Ivy in that film, and all the Gotham City Sirens. Then they got the green light for another film directed by another female director, more power, to do a film of another Harley Quinn movie with Black Canary and Oracle, and that movie is going to be Birds of Prey. I'm a big-time DC fan. I love Birds of Prey. Black Canary is a great character, so I'm really looking forward to that. And Margot Robbie, after the success of I, Tonya, is producing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, female producers and directors on a rampage in our comic book universe. I'll tell you what, that seems to be about the only thing that Warner Brothers is doing right.
Yeah.
Is getting more
So
female.
keep it up.
Yeah, lots more specific female creatives in the highest positions on those feature films, managing all of those decisions. Black Canary, produced and starring Margot Robbie. Birds of Prey, which will also have the Black Canary character. Birds of Prey, and then Gotham City Sirens, and then really? Josh thinks that Gotham City Sirens got canceled? No, I think they added on to it. So, and I wonder if they're ever going to go and do a standalone Aquaman, like they were talking about doing standalone Flash. I wonder.
You know, maybe, but maybe if he was a better character, they'd do it.
Who's the young man who plays the Flash? He's also in...
That's Ezra Miller, right?
Ezra Miller,
right?
yes.
Am I right?
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
okay.
And he's in J.K. Rowling's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
He's Credence.
Yep, he's Credence. That's right. Ezra Miller is a great, great actor, and I would love to see an entire movie of him doing The Flash. And, if Tom Holland can become everybody's favorite new Spider-Man because of the great quality that he brings to this character as Peter Parker, then I think we should really give, the other fellow a chance.
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller on the
Ezra
DC.
Miller.
And that is kind of like analogous, like the youngest and most inexperienced kid who's trying to join a league of superheroes. So I'm fascinated by what Ezra Miller is doing with that. Aquaman is coming out this year. Dave Gentry, thank you for the clarification.
Oh.
They really are released. Are you telling me that we don't even have any advance buzz on Aquaman and it's scheduled for release already later this year? All right, thank you for the update.
Something went wrong in the marketing team.
I can't. Yeah, what happened to pre-release marketing that we shouldn't be buzzing about the fact that
What happened to all the BuzzFeed quizzes
If-
about Aquaman, huh?
if you don't think Jason Momoa is all that, and if you think Aquaman is weak sauce, then I guess you're not going to be in the first weekend audience to go see the movie?
More like Netflix.
Oh, that's mean. You see, Marvel doesn't need your money as much as DC needs it.
Well, you know what?
You go spend your money on
DC
movies and you won't go see and support your DC movies.
DC, let me just say, Wonder Woman.
Okay, mic drop. We'll see about
I
that.
had to catch it because it's expensive and I don't want to ruin it. So.
Do you know what? And Josh is again providing us the idea that they might do a hard reboot and stop the current slate of connected films in that universe. They might do a hard reboot, which means we might not ever get the Batfleck ever back again. There was going to be a standalone Batman film as well. They were talking about all of that. But what is it that DC can't do what Marvel has done so exceptionally well? What is that?
Well,
look
some
at the
of the
past 10
writers,
years.
let me just say, the writers need a change. The acting's fine. It's just with the writing, you're not giving the actor the stuff that they need to be good. So it comes off as, ha, 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 I'm Harley Quinn. I'm crazy for no reason. Oh, wow. Wow. Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, ooh, look at my CG mustache. I mean, what CG mustache? Ah, Henry Cavill.
Did it look that bad? Did the fact that they got rid of
Yeah.
his Mission Impossible? Now we're watching all the trailers for Mission Impossible Fallout, and we can see the beard, the facial hair that cost Warner Brothers an extra $1.4 million to erase.
Yeah, I could go
Did
to.
you see it?
I could pay off my tuition with that kind of money,
I
but
know. How much digital work does it do to get rid of facial hair?
apparently a lot. You look okay, so you know you know who he looked like.
No, I know you're going to tell me. Billy Connolly in the Battle of the Five Armies, where he was all like
no.
half digital face.
That was way better.
Whoa. Okay. Okay.
Stop! You're making me laugh. No, he looked like the human version of Shrek in Shrek 2.
Oh no! Oh.
He did. I'm sorry.
Girlfriend.
Can we pull up a picture of that
Girlfriend.
somewhere?
Justin is.
That would be great.
Justin is usually at the control room where he's popping in pictures of what we're talking about, but
Snack
you
boy.
think that he looked like a snack boy is busy. So he looks like one of
He
the
looks
humans
like-
from Shrek.
No, he looks like. Hold on. He looks like. Hold on.
Oh my God, this is so funny, Hannah. So funny. What?
Not even being. I'm not.
I
even
love
trying
this.
To be,
I love doing
I'm
the
not
show with
even
you. By
trying
the
to
way.
be funny. I'm being serious.
What? Okay, pull it up. I gotta see this. So here's the thing. Oh, Letitia, have some of these, please. Did you have some? Have some, please. Take that. And you can wave at the crowd. Say, "Hey, Letitia." All right. Hey.
This is what he looks like.
Oh my gosh. You mean when Shrek is turned into a human?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's actually insane. That's really
Doesn't
funny.
that look like him?
Me- Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. This is hilarious. Yeah, there you go. All right, can I show the crowd?
Yeah.
All right, I know you guys might not be.
I'll post a picture of
That
it.
is not what Henry Cavill looks
yeah,
like.
yeah, it does.
Oh my God.
Let me pull up a picture of him.
All right, I want our friend Kyle, who makes all these dank memes. I really want Kyle to. Okay, thanks, Dave. I will look it up. And you know what? And that is quite correct. Mr. Gentry is correct. I'm going to be digging in and researching exactly what Warner Brothers is doing next, because all the buzz and all the information we've been getting has been about casting announcements for what Patty Jenkins is doing and about what Margot Robbie is doing, locking in another director to join her.
Look, Josh agrees with me.
That's exactly what Henry Cavill will look like.
You see, he looks like that, and then we go back, we go back, we go back, we go back.
Oh, there you go.
And
Yeah,
then-
I got it. And then there it is. Yeah,
Then
yeah.
that looks exactly like him.
It does. It's funny.
It does.
It's
That's why it's funny.
Okay. Now that we're here near the end of our show,
We
we
can
are
talk
getting
about
near the end.
spoilers.
We can talk deep, granular spoilers on Infinity War. And we also have 10 minutes to invite JC into the segment on our show before we close our show.
Look, it's way too soon to talk Infinity War spoilers.
It is not too soon.
Let's take another week.
Nope.
Let everybody at
Nope.
home see.
We've given everyone
can't-
fair warning about an hour and a half ago.
No, they need another
Actually,
week.
90
Give
minutes
them another
ago,
weekend.
We even told the audience who's watching on archive
Do not
at
spoil
YouTube
the big spoiler.
that they can only watch up to that certain point and be spoiler free. Everyone's been given fair warning for 90 minutes, so don't tell me that.
No, wait till next week. Wait till next. Give people a week to see Infinity War because there's huge. No, it just don't.
I'm not interested in spoiling the entire film.
Okay.
I'm just interested in talking about the film without such guarded secrecy. I mean, I feel like Mark Ruffalo doing that accidental press junket where, like, oops, did I let slip? I'm not going to let slip anything, okay?
We're not.
But
We're not ready for
you
that.
can't talk details about the plot unless you warn the folks at home. Fair warning. We're going to talk a little bit about the characters and the situations, but we're not going to blow the whole lid off of everything. But we will get into the area, okay?
Thanos.
Okay. Demands your silence. Thanos demands your silence.
He does.
Guess what?
He demands your silence.
Guess what? There's a reason why Infinity War is making waves. And we can talk about it without ruining the prize.
And we can talk about
everybody.
it next week.
No, we're not going to talk about it next week. Hey, JC, do you want to do your segment?
Thank you, Snack Boy.
Okay. Bye-bye, Pete.
Bye, Pete.
Okay. Pete, we love you. We're only going to have like 10 minutes. So here's what I think. So much drama at the end of Infinity War without people in the audience realizing, oh, wait, there's another movie that may or may not be a big course correction to what you just saw in Infinity War. When you have a challenge as a filmmaker, as a writer, that is difficult. It's very difficult because it cheapens the sentiment. And the Russos, the directors, worked so hard to earn the sentiment of what happens in the film. And they worked very, very well. Not just adequately, they worked exceptionally well to succeed at earning the sentiment. But then some of that sentiment at the end is just undercut, knowing that there might be a whole Deus Ex Machina somewhere in the next Avengers film.
Yeah,
So
when you go that route, it's
saying.
like, okay, has anybody here watched The Walking Dead? I mean, I assume so. Yeah.
I've read the
Yay.
comic book, The Walking Dead, but not seen too much of the show, really.
I think we're going to start carrying Walking Dead wine here.
Ooh, a Walking Dead wine.
Walking Dead Bloody Red Blend.
Hey, everybody, look who's joining
That
the show.
sounds good.
Am I on?
There's
we
JC,
have,
yeah,
Do we
you're
have
there.
the right camera
Yeah.
on?
Well, you're going
Are
to
we
find your
sure?
light. It's a little to your right.
I'm going to, let me double
What's to your
check
left?
here.
Yeah, we have
Oh
you
no,
there.
Justin, what's going on? Okay. I've got my light, all right? Am I on?
Yeah.
Are we good?
You're good.
I have controversy this week. We discussed a little bit before the show.
Okay, here's JC joining us to talk about his newbie experiences with Middle-earth.
So I have never read The Hobbit.
Yeah.
I read Fellowship of the Ring, and I powered through it because I wanted to finish it before I saw the movie when it came out. So it wasn't, I didn't sit with it. It was a mission.
It doesn't resonate with you.
I mean, it just didn't. I finished the book at 9 o'clock. The movie came out at midnight. So I was racing to
right.
finish the book. So I picked up. I was on vacation. I downloaded The Hobbit for my Kindle and started reading The Hobbit.
Mm-hmm.
I am. They just found the door. They just put the key in the door, the dwarven door on Durn's
on
Day.
the side of the Lonely Mountain.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm at in the book. Now, I've watched the extended edition movies. We talked about it last week. And I'm gonna get hated for this, but I think I like the movies better. Which I know everybody's like, the Hobbit movies are like the Star Wars prequels. Like,
Oh, I
they're like,
wouldn't call it that.
we're dealing, but the
It's interesting that the Hobbit fans who are book fans were polarized by the films. And the reception was very uneven compared to our reception of the Lord of the Rings films. Granted, I see where you're at with that.
it
get
makes sense. If you've grown up with The Hobbit, I understand because 60% of what's in those movies has nothing to do with the book. Maybe
enough,
more.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the book.
Yes.
But what I find is that stuff that they put in the movie that ties so directly into Lord of the Rings is actually my favorite part.
I like that stuff too.
Where I'm watching, you watch the design of the Eye of Sauron take shape, where he's this shadow necromancer and it folds and twists into the eye.
Yeah.
You get to watch, the elves and the wizards fight him and just barely survive, and all of that stuff is so interesting and gave so much context to the Lord of the Rings for me.
You get to see Saruman as a
Right.
good guy.
Yeah.
Most importantly.
And that type of
Most important.
context for the Lord of the Rings, I miss so much when I'm reading the book, and I miss so much. I miss the Thorin in the movie. Just seems like a king, and in the book he's like the side character
who's kind of stuffy and important.
Yeah,
self-important.
He doesn't want that gold. He doesn't care. He's happy to hang out at Rivendell for 3 months. He's happy to hang out at, all over the place. There's no urgency to it. And I miss that. I miss the guy who wants this so bad that he's willing to leave paradise for it. He's willing to go and face certain death and leave paradise because that's how bad he needs that treasure. And I don't, in the book, he's just like, take it or leave it. And Bilbo's the one who's like, I miss the adventure. I want to do this. And you're like, but why? What are you getting out of it? You don't even you're already rich, Bilbo. You're a Baggins.
Yep.
You're rich.
Yep.
You live at Bag End. You've got the big house. What do you want this money for? You've got everything. But he's the one in the book who is pushing that forward. And maybe it's because I'm 37 and I'm not reading the book for the first time as an 8-year-old. But those things, the weight that they gave the movies, I miss in the whimsic of this is a kid's book. I miss it.
That was purposeful, that the screenwriters took The Hobbit out of its original context and molded it into major existing pieces and threads that they already had from their Oscar-winning success from before. And this begs the question that I want to ask you both. Imagine how much different our experience of The Hobbit would have been if it had been made first. We would never be having conversations about, The Hobbit is structurally dependent on the Lord of the Rings. You're building up to Lord of the Rings. It would be its own thing if it did its own thing first, without being in the shadow of the success of the Rings. I'm enamored with that idea.
I think it would be the other way around, where it would be Rings would be made after The Hobbit, and then we would have that problem of, Rings never lived up to the, magnificent of The Hobbit. Plus, Peter didn't even have enough bloody time as it was.
Yeah.
So I find the Hobbit book severely lacking in the sort of detail that the Lord of the Rings films succeeded on. Right. Every frame of those movies, there's more than one thing going on. And the Hobbit is just now they go here, now they go here, now this happens, now Bilbo does this. Sting glows blue, kind of, maybe, and so does this sword sometimes, but not. It's very... It doesn't have the same detail in it. And I don't know if the Lord of the Rings books are like that, but I think they are a lot more kind of in-depth, right? The description is a lot more, the world picture is painted more vividly.
Very much so.
Oh, yeah, it is very vivid. It's
very different.
The texture of this bark was blah, blah, blah. One toenail was crooked on Mary's toe. I don't know.
The Hobbit was written completely differently, almost 15 or more years prior. And The Hobbit was written for children only, to be in the vein of Lewis Carroll or L. Frank Baum, with Oz or Alice. And in fact, the ultimate comparison, as soon as The Hobbit was published, The Hobbit belongs on a space on the shelf right next to The Adventures of Alice and Her Crazy Wonderland. That's all that Tolkien was going for. He had a different responsibility when he wrote The Lord of the Rings, and boy, did he approach it differently. It's thicker. It's much thicker. The density of its approach. And now, when you get to the final 2 chapters of The Hobbit, when the big battle of the 5 armies happens, you will notice a change in the language and in the tone of the book that approaches a little bit less of the whimsy and a little bit more of the Sturm and Drang of big epic. He's only going to hint at it, but it's in there.
I'm excited. I'm honestly excited to read Lord of the Rings
again
now, because I have a hunger that I need to fulfill, and I'm like, oh, well, I've got 1,000 pages, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. So I did have a question, though.
Please.
My one question.
Yes, please.
Is that I believe that at one point I heard you say that Christopher Lee was not happy with the scenes of his that were cut from theatrical movie of Return of the King.
Indeed, it caused a specific rift in the relationship between Peter Jackson.
But then he came back, and
Chris
he has
Lee.
a decent role in the Hobbit movies.
Mm-hmm, he does.
Is that just because Christopher Lee loved that world so much that it eclipsed his personal vendettas against perceived wrongs?
Indeed. I believe that since we know Christopher Lee knew Tolkien and met him when he was alive, and while he was alive, I think Sir Christopher Lee was probably the greatest living scholar and so deeply knowledgeable of all hardcore Tolkien details.
Read somewhere. Tolkien had promised him, or gave his blessing for him to play Gandalf if there was ever a movie.
Back in the day. Yeah.
But he couldn't because he was too old. So he was casted as Saruman the White, or Saruman of many colors, if we're talking regular.
I heard in a lot of the stuff I was reading was that it took a lot of doing for PJ to repair his relationship with Sir Christopher, to get him to come in to work on the Hobbit trilogy. But there is, as many people would levy complaints against the way The Hobbit was translated into 3-film mega epic, I totally understand. And in a new way, I have a new perspective, which I thank you for, to understand that you've digested The Hobbit in a different piece of media, in a different way, and now you're sitting down with Tolkien, and it's not quite the same. And you see, that underscores the fact that they are very different things. We call it Hobbit 2.0. When we talk about these films, most of us nerds are saying, oh yeah, well, that's Peter Jackson's Hobbit. You know, but it is what it is. But you know what, JC? I really appreciate seeing more of Christopher Lee and these other characters in context, because it makes the Lord of the Rings flow quite differently. And going forward in the future, we might just pattern ourselves to have the little kids watch the Hobbit films before our kids get a little older and watch Lord of the Rings films.
I think that would make sense.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, because it's like that. It's the same thing with this. And I'm going to get yelled at by my girlfriend, but it's the same thing with the Star Wars prequels. Is it better to know that Anakin Skywalker becomes Darth Vader before you find out Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father, right? And that's why this whole machete order, where you watch the movies in like a Yahtzee, like episode 5, then 2, then 1, then 14. Then
I'm a big proponent of the machete order. It works.
So, so you know, is it something like that? Like, do I need to? Is the Sauron backstory better left told after you know what a powerful being he is? Because you don't understand what he is in the Hobbit movie. It doesn't have any weight unless you know where it's going.
It's a callback. Yeah.
In the Hobbit movie, had I not seen Lord of the Rings, as a filmmaker, my critique would be, what does that have to do with anything? Why is that in there? It's like the Canto Bight scene in The Last Jedi.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Pluck it out and it doesn't matter. None of it matters. But when you watch Lord of the Rings first, and then you watch The Hobbit, and you're looking at Bilbo with the ring, and you're looking at Sauron, necromancer guy over here, and you're like, that's the guy who becomes the guy. That's the. But if you just watch it, you're going, this guy has nothing to do with this Hobbit. Nothing. Like, why are they showing us that? It has nothing to do with what's going on over here. And that would piss me off. Yeah. But watching that going, this is happening at the same time that was happening, is like, you know.
So it's very effective then. I get that. I totally get that.
You know, one of my bartenders who has old Elvish tattoos across his back and grew up on Lord of the Rings the way most of us grew up on Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Got into an argument with me about it because he goes, that stuff is cool, but they shouldn't have called it The Hobbit. They should have called it, Untold Stories or something else, because it's not The Hobbit. It's this other stuff. And if they hadn't called it The Hobbit, people wouldn't have a problem with it. They should have just called it the other stuff, I don't understand what he's talking about. But that was his take. Is like, it's not bad, but it's just not what it's supposed to be.
The unwanted love triangle between Tauriel and Keeley.
Does she have a part in? Is that a Peter Jackson fabrication? Is
Completely.
she in anything?
Oh yeah, she's nowhere in.
But see, not knowing, that works for me. Okay. It works for me also because and that's what I loved in the Hobbit movie, because you're watching it and you're looking at, why do dwarves hate elves? That was something that I never understood watching the Lord of the Rings movies. Why do dwarves hate elves? Mm-hmm. And that's a question I would ask you in my questions from the noob or riddles in the dark section, but I got answers in the Hobbit movie.
Yeah.
It explains it very clearly.
Much more clearly, yes.
You watch Tauriel and the dwarf, and Legolas is like, what?
Yep.
But then in the next 3 movies, Legolas is like, I don't like you, dwarf. And you're like, I know why you don't, because a woman you loved a dwarf and not you. It makes sense. And then he's like, hey, dwarf, you're not too bad. And his arc is so much stronger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Not knowing source material, not understanding. Not understanding how blasphemous that may be. I kind of loved it, because to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, the weight of this.
Nope. I'm just hosting the show, brother. I think the man you need to talk to is right there.
Oh, okay. I got a sign for this.
No, I appreciate that, JC. I get it. See, you're talking about world building in a bigger way in these films, and see, that will be very controversial to many hardcore Ringer fans to think that somebody likes the Hobbit film more than they like Tolkien's original book. Controversy. We just had a little Prince moment right there. Sorry about that. I'm sorry to your Purple Highness, who is floating in another galaxy with David Bowie right now.
Oh.
I know, I miss them both so much. But JC, that is really awesome to bring some controversy to our show, but maybe not so much, because I've got another small example before we close the show. I have a good friend of mine, Letitia. I don't know if you've ever met her. She's
the woman who birthed me.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, there's a friend of mine, and her name is Kay. She's 70 years old, and she's from England. She's a London girl, lived through the wild, swinging 60s of London, and is now living here in retirement in the United States. And Kay wanted to be introduced to all the Lord of the Rings films and all the things that I'm passionate about as a good friend. She wanted to understand more about this storytelling. Mm-hmm. And we got her started off with the Hobbit films first. I made that as an executive decision. So JC, I understand exactly what you're at. She loved it. She was completely impacted by the Hobbit films. She fell in love with Martin Freeman. She loved everything about it. She loved the glorious dragon, and she just was completely enamored with the Britishness of it all, which is appropriate. And she was not missing out on any of the Lord of the Rings yet. We have yet to show her the next 3 films, and then she's going to have that whole full experience, and she's going to understand the bookends of why Elijah Wood is showing up at the bloody, opening prologue of The Hobbit. She's going to understand why Elijah Wood says,
"Things will come full circle."
Yeah, I'm going to go meet him now. I'm going to go off to the west side of the woods and take my book. Bye. And then the next time we see Frodo, he's sitting there reading that same bloody book under that tree, and here comes Gandalf.
Speaking of the
she's
Brits,
going to get all those
be
pieces
mad at our foul
put together.
mouths.
But what a joy it was to see, because I didn't know that he came back. I didn't know Elijah Wood was going to be in that movie. So to watch to watch The Hobbit and not know that I was going to see Frodo again, because I hated Frodo prior, and then I fell in love with Frodo upon this next viewing. Yeah. So to see him again, I was like, you're back. You're back. Yes. Even though it's like just a snippet, like it was so cool to see him come back.
Indeed.
And to see, I didn't know Cate Blanchett would be back. I didn't know Hugo Weaving. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what to expect. So to see those characters again, I was like, oh my God, this is like Christmas morning, but in like February.
I enjoy it. As much as I didn't care so much for the love triangle, I loved the extended edition Hobbit stuff where we find out what happened to Thorin's father, Thrain. And to realize that Sauron was...
I just want to say... I really like that scene. The only thing that drove me up the wall more than anything, more than the love triangle.
What?
The one thing was when they used the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, that was.
Oh my God! Hold on.
I was mad.
That was silly.
Really angry.
But that was something. The Wilhelm scream is used. I think I counted in. It's used like 12 times.
Yeah.
In the 6 movies, it's used twice a movie at least.
Yeah.
Because it stands out as a Star Wars fan like a sore thumb everywhere. To the point that I was like, did Ben Burt do these movies?
Or
is this a Skywalker Ranch thing?
Yeah.
Because that was his thing, and it's everywhere.
Especially during such an intimate moment where he's like, tell my son that I love him. Can you please do that? This poor old man that's been like, he's decrepit now, and he's like missing a finger and probably has PTSD more than that. Yeah. He's like begging his friend to tell his son, I love him. Please tell my son that I love him. I never got to tell him. And then you're like, oh my gosh, that hits home. That's really heavy. And then
that was really good. It belonged in the theatrical versions.
That was really good. But then the Wilhelm scream
was lame.
And then I was like, oh, okay.
But more intriguing to me, I think, is the fact that Sauron is actively reclaiming rings of power. Mm-hmm. Getting, you get a little bit more about rings after you're done watching The Hobbit, and if you've had no exposure to the material, then right after The Hobbit is all done, the third Hobbit film, then you get that opening 8-minute prologue where Galadriel gives you a bigger breakdown of those rings. And you're like, oh, that's why the poor guy who was being tortured by the necromancer had lost a finger.
Did Tolkien plan on Bilbo's ring being connected to the necromancer and everything in 1937 or whatever when he wrote that book? Or was it like, okay, I can use this, and then he built something around something that he had never planned to do? Was it always in the blueprint?
Your second statement was correct. I mean, it was not always in the blueprint. It wasn't in the blueprint, so much so that after 15 years of writing The Lord of the Rings, he told his publisher, this isn't really a sequel to The Hobbit. It's actually a sequel to The Silmarillion. And his publisher was like... So Tolkien had to do a retcon and go back and revise the riddle game, and had to revise the intent of Gollum and the ring and its presence. And so there was a second edition of The Hobbit. Then it became the version of The Hobbit, which we know, which aligns much more specifically with that.
So I got the Kindle 75th anniversary edition.
Nice.
And it's got audio video in it, and you can actually listen to Tolkien read passages from the book, on your Kindle.
Yeah, I love that.
And I think there are points in it that you can click on it, and it will show you what it used to be versus what it is now.
Dude, really?
Or it'll take you to like a website that shows you like because in the foreword they talk about all the different revisions and how he would change it here and then he changed it here and then he changed it a third time, I guess, and they link you to where you can somebody who has actually dissected the
changes to
timeline of changes.
The edits are quite interesting. One of the best versions of The Hobbit in print is the annotated version, where the script of the book is in the middle, and big outside margins of every page are filled with language discussions and runes and illustrations from foreign editions. And oh, by the way, this happened in Tolkien's life, and this reflects his relationship with so-and-so. Oh, so that like whole enlightened version of The Hobbit. If there was ever one, like an annotated version of The Lord of the Rings, which there is not, it would like be the ultimate Bible. It would be the ultimate
like
Bible.
Also probably be like
fans.
14 volumes. It'd be an encyclopedia.
It'd be
right?
nuts.
It'd be $400, leather bound.
I'd buy it. Yeah, Justin says I'd buy it. I would buy it.
Yeah, I'd buy it too.
I would totally buy that too.
I'd buy it.
Say goodnight, everybody. He says, say goodnight, Gracie. Wait,
Good night,
excuse me for not
everybody.
everything. Hey, JC, thank you for bringing it, and being part of the show.
Hopefully people understand
I do think so.
how watching, like not knowing anything and then going in reverse, you're like, oh, I kind of like what I'm seeing here.
Right.
You know, because as bad as it is I don't really have an allegiance. Like my Lord of the Rings and my Hobbit, like that, my experience in Middle Earth is through the Peter Jackson lens. It's not it wasn't built on Tolkien. It was built on Peter Jackson.
What's funny is that Radagast becomes such a colorful and interesting presence
Oh yeah.
in the Hobbit films, but we learned to love Radagast in The Lord of the Rings. We were missing him. He belonged in the earlier trilogy. We should have had Sylvester McCoy doing that in the Lord of the Rings films with all of his relationship with the animals and everything. I would have loved. Radagast suddenly appears in The Hobbit, and I'm like, thank you for bringing one of my favorite characters to life. I do appreciate
and it was
that.
cool. Like, does he actually give? And we could talk all night, but like, does he actually give Gandalf his staff in the books and things, or is that a Peter Jackson invention? Because that was kind of neat. Because the staff Gandalf has at the beginning of Lord of the Rings is the one that Radagast gave him during The Hobbit.
It's true, but I don't think that's in the book that way. I'd have to research that.
Not in
It is
the
neat.
Odysseys?
Huh?
No.
I'll look it up. But I mean, when he died fighting the Balrog, Gandalf didn't have a staff or anything at all except Glamdring. That's the only thing he had left. And he went naked, barely alive, from the top of the mountain down to visit Lothlorien. And then he healed. He had to heal with Cate Blanchett. Hey, so
That's why Cate Blanchett's probably so into Mithrandir.
I'm
right?
assuming. Yes, thank you.
You know,
That's
he
right.
showed up.
Showed up naked. But I'm assuming the elves of Lothlorien helped that version of Gandalf in the book to make a new wizard's staff before he went and bumped into Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli in the woods. So we'll see about that. Oh, hey,
All right.
do you believe that we're out of time? I can't believe it. We're out of time.
Snack boy.
JC, you're awesome, buddy. Thank you for being on our show.
Thank you.
Snack boy, Justin, has been delivering M&Ms for snacks right here. These are delicious.
He threw this at you.
But these are orange vanilla, really interesting, weird orange vanilla M&Ms. Okay, we're gonna say goodnight. I hate to say goodnight, but it's been a long show. We've got so many wonderful people who've been coming through and visiting us. Hannah, you especially.
Oh.
Thank you for co-hosting with me tonight,
Well,
love.
thank you
My
for
love.
having me.
Always and forever. Having you on the show is the best. She's the best. We're doing it. We're doing it live, and because we're live, that means we're inviting you. So in the future, any of you folks who want to come in here, we're going to fire up the kitchen. We're going to have some snacks and burgers and queso. Maybe
We'll have Snack Boy.
We'll have Snack Boy deliver snacks.
Snack Boy.
Yes. And you can be sitting here live. Keep your eyes on the prize because we have a big announcement for the end of this month, May 29th, the last Tuesday of this month. It's going to be magnificent. I'm only going to hint at it. Wink, wink.
Hey, don't do that.
I won't. But
No.
after we confirm a few things, it's going to be great. Thank you for joining us on Torn Tuesday, theonering.net, your ultimate one-stop shop for all J.R.R. Tolkien news, reviews, and information. Find us online at Twitter, Periscope, Instagram.
Facebook.
Yeah, on the Bookface. We're on the Bookface. The One Ring Net is where you usually find us. And where can we find you on Twitter, my dear?
On Twitter, you can find me as Cimmerillion28 and as Baggins is here, all lowercase, on Instagram.
That's right. And you'll find me on Twitter and Instagram at QuickBeam2000. Wait, am I losing sound? All right, we're going to say goodnight, everybody. Quick Beam here, Clifford Broadway, and Hannah Greenwood saying good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you to the able support of our staff off screen. Justin, you are awesome, and so are you, JC, Letitia, and Pinguino, all my love. So good to see you. Good night, everybody. Next week, Tuesday.